thanks again for joining us. This is To Your Greatness with Dawn Mathis. I am Dawn Mathis, and we have a wonderful, wonderful powerhouse of a guest this morning. Her name is Ann Barron, and I had the pleasure of meeting Ann several months ago, and she just really intrigued me. And so a few days ago, she and I sat down, much like we're going to do here today over coffee, because I want you to meet her and know her as well. And I think you should know her, and I think you should listen to what she has to say. And I, for one, will be joining her organization that she has, and I hope you will too. So, Ann, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Dawn, and I appreciate you having me on the podcast. Thanks so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So tell us where you came from before you became such a connector of people in your latest endeavor. Tell us a little bit of background and how you reinvented yourself with that background to what you're doing today.
Certainly. So I had been in the business world and networking world, chamber, DBA world for several years. And over 5 years ago, decided to start this networking group, Northern Colorado Community, to connect small businesses. Because I really have a passion and I love being that resource and support and encourager to small businesses.
That's great. And I know for myself, having started a couple of small business, starting a small business is no small feat. Would you agree?
Yeah. Right.
So one of the things that impressed me about you is how well connected in Northern Colorado that you are, and just in talking with you, it just seemed like I could say, well, I need this, and you'd be like, oh, I have just the person for you to talk to. So tell us, so I think the first time I met you was at a WOW conference last October.
Yes.
And that's when I found out about Northern Colorado Community, your business. And so for someone who is, I know you have 60% women in your network and 40% men, so almost balanced. But tell us, someone starting a business or maybe struggling with getting some traction with that business, tell us how Northern Colorado Community, and you specifically, could help us to gain traction and to maybe get ourselves in the right direction.
Definitely. So a couple of things with new businesses is they can be scattered. They don't know where to start or who to talk to. So one of the things we do is we have in-person events. And actually, as of today, we now have 6 in-person events every month that folks can attend. And as you know, you're like me, Don, we like to have that one-on-one or in-person interaction. You really get to know the person better and learn more about them, and perhaps they get to know more about you as well. The second thing is that we have one of the events we have is a mastermind where business people can bring their question to the other professionals who act as directors to give input, resource, directions. And then what I call my secret sauce with the group that I organize is that I make I actively connect the members to professionals they want to meet. So it could be people in the group or people outside of the group. A good example is Colorado Early Colleges, which is a charter school here locally. I connected them to a contact person at Madwire, because then Madwire could mentor, they could come in and bring speakers, they could help students be interns at Madwire. So that was a good connection. And Madwire is not a member, but I've known them since they started as a very small company. But it's basically just putting that one foot in front of the other and doing something actively with your business every day instead of thinking about it for months or weeks, but really doing something, whether in person or connecting with other professionals or thinking about who are the type of customers or clients that you want to attract to your business.
I love that. I love that. There's a book out there called U Squared by Price Pritchett. And in that book, he talks about you don't have to do step by step by step. It can be an incremental jump from say ground zero up to level 5. And I see your connectivity and the trust people have in you as a way people can take a quantum leap in moving forward in their business because you know someone and you know them. And I know how hard it is just to reach out to people you don't know and how much money you can spend just saying, well, here's why I'm different and here's why you should hire me. And it's hard. People are like, yeah, whatever. We hear that all the time. But someone like Anne, who's very dynamic and very knowledgeable, and I'm just way impressed with her. She can take you and hold your hand essentially and have you connect with the person that's going to make a difference in your business, and you're going to make a difference in their business, and they're willing to listen because Anne is the secret sauce. She's the person putting the two of you together to make an alliance that's going to be a win-win.
Yeah, and thank you. And you are right. You can spend a lot of money trying to kind of shoot out your arrows or contact people who might be interested in your service or product, and they may or may not be. But by getting to know that professional and what they're looking for and who's a good fit for them to get to meet, then it's going to be, 10 times better contact or connection once the
Absolutely.
people either talk or meet in person. And I don't connect folks with people who I randomly met for 2 minutes. It's people who I've known for years. They see my name, they know immediately who I am, and they're going to be likely to respond to you, Dawn, and say, well, if Anne's connecting Dawn to me, I need to at least give Dawn a few minutes of my time and get to learn about her as well.
Yes, and that is priceless. It could cost you hours and hours and hours and thousands of dollars to make that connection otherwise, or it may never happen. It may never happen. Would you agree with that, Ann?
Yeah, that's right. And one of the examples is one of my members. They are a videographer, and because of a couple of connections that I made for them, one was to another member, but one to a person who's not a member, but a longtime friend of mine, they actually have already doubled their income this year.
Wow. Wow. Well, that's great. So let me ask you this. You have these several events that you shared with me, and you gave me the piece of paper. Are those posted on your website for people to look at?
Yes, correct. So they're posted on the website. I have a
Mhm.
Facebook page, Instagram, and an email newsletter.
Perfect. So someone wanting to check you out, even after we've, I think, convincingly shared how valuable them being connected with you would be. What would you tell them they should do now? I mean, if they're at all interested, you know how people like to kick the tires or poke at something with a stick. Tell us the website that the listeners should go to.
Yes, the website is northerncoloradocommunity.com. northerncoloradocommunity.com. Yeah.
Okay.
And I always love meeting. Like I said to you, I said, Dawn, let's meet. I want to learn more about you and get to know you, regardless of the outcome of it. And hopefully you felt like I'm not trying to pressure you or sell you or anything. I just wanted to get to know you better. And I'm always really excited to meet professionals and learn their story and their journey of how they got to where they're at in their career and their business. Or the second thing is folks are more than welcome to attend an event in person for free as my guest. And as I said, there's 6 events a month now, and different times of the
Wow.
day, different times a month. The last one just added as of today, is a young professionals event for obviously young professionals.
Okay, I'll be there.
I go too. Do you think I can pass for under 40? Probably not, but I can try.
That's okay. That's okay. But I mean, we could always present to the younger people because they might be ready to listen to us now. I know when we're first getting out in the workaday world, we really don't listen to our parents.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Oh, it's young at heart as well, Dawn. So it doesn't have to be.
Well, then I would fit right in. Okay. So, I don't usually get into the money part of this when I'm talking to someone or promoting someone. And in this case, I am highly promoting you because you guys, I'm going to join. What's not to love about this? And you can pick the events you go to. And I already have questions I want to ask her, but I about things that I want and things that I need. And the other thing is, before we go there with the monetary thing, you had said to me that you give a bit of your time to be a resource to people. Tell me what you call that, because I don't want to use the C word, the consultant word. You called it something.
Yes, I called it business specialist services. So every member gets 1 hour free with me every month in business specialist services. It could be talking about sales, website, client retention, all kinds of different topics.
Oh my gosh. And I will tell you that if you hired a C word consultant person to do that for you, it would easily be $200 an hour.
Yeah, that's what I've been paying for consultants.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I do think sometimes we think, it's probably a lot of money. I'm not going to waste my time going to the website. So for those of you like that, and I know there's a few of you out there, we're going to go ahead and tell you what your investment is. And I think you already have an idea now of what the services already are. We've talked about that and how you can get out there and meet people. And when you go to the website, you're going to see, wow, I mean, this is even better than Angie's List, for crying out loud. Not trying to compare you to Angie's List. I like that comparison. Anyway, but tell us what the investment is. And by the way, you guys, this is a write-off, right? When you invest in your business, it's a write-off. So, okay, that being aside, at least that's what my CPA tells me.
Yes.
What the investment is, Anne.
Sure. So the basic investment is $349 for the year. So $349 for 1 year. And that includes that 1 hour, basically the C word consulting every month, plus 6 events that are free to attend. I don't nickel and dime you every time you come to an event. So that's over 60 events, 60, 70 events a year that you can attend for free. Plus, I have a Facebook group. I meet with you one-on-one. I make the connections for you. And there's just a lot of great resources for members.
Well, that's amazing. And then if people wanted more, my understanding is if someone wanted to be a sponsor of an event, they could bring the event idea to you, initiate that event. You would put it out there to all your peeps, and they could sponsor the event and use your group of folks that you have out there that you're well connected with to promote that event.
Yes, that's definitely a good point. So a great example is the young professionals. One of my members, actually a really new member to the group, she's a young realtor, and she's not new to real estate, but she's a young person. And she said, I want to start a young professionals group. And I said, great. You set up the place, the location, time, date. You're the one that's the host. I may or may not be at the events, but you set it up. I'll run it under the umbrella of Northern Colorado community and let all the folks know who want to attend. And I'm always open to ideas. Another member wanted a book club to get started. So they run the book club. But I really think that when you listen to your members and your customers and see what they want and then make it available, if it makes good sense, then everyone win-wins on that situation.
Oh, absolutely. And they're not left trying to reinvent a wheel that's already out there and rolling.
Yes.
I love that. And so in your core group, you have, what did you tell me, approximately 100 members in your core Northern Colorado community.
Yes.
However, your network extends out like a web, and you have, like you said, your, excuse me, your Instagram and your Facebook and other meetup groups.
Isn't it?
And so that's an even larger number of people that you can expose someone to, if it's a win-win for all the parties.
Yes, I have over 3,000 contacts. So that is between
Wow.
5 meetup groups, Facebook, e-newsletter, Instagram, and then, people members, of course, in the event. And plus, like, for instance, today I had a person reach out to me. They used to be the editor of a local newspaper, and now they're working for a local radio station. And again, they were like, hey, this is what I'm trying to write content for. Who do you know? Who's doing these things? What's happening in the area? And so we had a really good chat about that. So I do have people reach out to me and say, I want to know what's happening or what's going on or who I need to meet or know.
That's great. That's great. Heck, I should reach out to you, and then you can tell me what's going on so I can make sure that it's on my podcast, right?
Yeah.
I had another question I wanted to ask you, and I'm trying to look at my notes here, and I can't read my own writing. I don't know. Does that happen to you ever? Like,
Yes.
this?
I-
Oh, I did. Ugh.
It happens to me all the time.
Yes. Well, in real estate, we call it a mental cul-de-sac. It'll come back around. Um,
I like that.
yeah, it's yeah. I
The
have
the other thing on that I say to people I share is sales is not sales. Sales is building relationships. Some of these that I have known for 20 years are now members of my group. They didn't have a business of their own when they became when I first met them, but we just kept in contact over years of time. And then this one person who's a friend, she became a member when she started her own business. So that happens quite often to me. Or there's one person who was pretty high level with a high up in management with a local cell phone service, but then now they got a job at another company that was a good fit for them, and they decided just to continue on and be a member because they saw the value and the connections and the great networking.
Okay. Well, so before people even go to your website, should they become members, do they get a list of other members with their contact information so they can reach out on their own at their own time and organically build that relationship?
Well, on the website, it does have the list of members. So it lists usually a link to their website, or if they have an Instagram or a LinkedIn type of location connection. But again, if people say that, what would be a good example? Like insurance agents, they may say realtors, estate attorneys, lawyers are good people for them to know. Then I will make that introduction for them, because sometimes if you just kind of reach out, if I say, oh, I'm Ann, I'm going to reach out to you, but they don't know me, they're going, but this is like my 5,000 other spam emails. It can't go anywhere. You can do that. I don't have a problem if people want to reach out to certain people, but I really think it's that really warm introduction by an email introduction that works most effectively.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what would you tell someone that was either getting ready to start their own endeavor, their own business launch, or someone maybe who has a small business and they're just not feeling that it's where it needs to be? What would you tell that person to do today?
Okay, I'll address the first question, which is if they're thinking about starting a small business or their own business, I would say really analyze and count the cost. I actually, a long time ago, started a small business, started my own business, which went terrible. I mean, basically, the point where I lost everything to where I only had what I could own in a VW Beetle. That's all I owned in the world at that point. I
Mm.
mean, went from losing a house, 2 cars, blah, blah, blah. And that was a really bad decision on my point. I didn't have enough money in reserve. I really wasn't ready to just go out and be self-employed. So that I say count the cost, make sure that you have the reserve, you have the backup. So that way, if you don't make the income you think you're going to right away, then you're not just losing your house and your cars and your 401k and everything just to survive. The second thing is if you're a business and you already started and you're trying to figure out what to take it to the next level, I think one of the things is you have to kind of be honest with yourself and look at yourself, because maybe you're not taking the active steps to grow the business. I hear people saying, well, I want to grow the business. And you say, well, are you doing any social media? Are you trying to talk to new clients? Are you trying to ask for referrals from your past clients who've been really happy with you? No, I'm not doing that. Are you thanking your clients? Are you reaching out to them every so often and keeping that good contact, even if they're not using you right at this, current time? So probably just reevaluate what you're doing and what is working well and what maybe needs to be um, changed up a little bit, because sometimes people think they're doing a lot of activity, but then you ask them how much are they really doing towards their business, you find out they're not doing that much really. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not trying to sound harsh on it, but sometimes people just aren't taking the right active steps with their business.
Mm. Well, that's super great advice. That's wonderful advice. So I'm convinced. Of course, you convinced me the other day. I just
I could try to.
yeah. So this is not one of those times, people, where you go into a department store and someone comes up and says, "Can I help you?" And your immediate knee-jerk response is, "No, thank you. Just
No,
look.
I'm
No,
just
thank
looking.
you. Just looking." You know what? There's no just looking. When you have a business, whether it's real estate, whether it's coaching, whether it's sales, insurance, whatever it is, you're not just looking. You need to act. And
Mhm.
I'm going to say this, that I think working with Anne and joining her awesome organization. I've met some of the people in that organization. I'm now clients of theirs, and hopefully they'll become clients of mine soon. But you know what? It was a win-win for me to have introductions from someone like Anne who knows a lot of people. So anyway, I'm going to say, take the plunge, do the thing, and reach out to me and let me know how wonderful Anne is and how wonderful she was to you and how this is helpful to you. Because I want to hear from you after you've spent some time in Anne's organization, Northern Colorado Community. And yeah, let's do this together. Let's do this together. And I'll probably see you at, well, at least at the wine events for sure.
People, yeah, that's so fun. I started that again, that was another member's idea. It was last year she recommended that idea of let's get together for a happy hour every so often. And I thought, yeah, it's a great idea, but I didn't have the bandwidth to add it on as an event. And now when I added it, people were like, wow, are we doing this every week? Like, no, we're doing this once a month. But they were so excited, like, oh, that's so great. That sounds so fun. And really, you'll find really good energy. People are just relaxed, they're being themselves. And just people need to have a little fun added to their day as well, not always working, but
Yeah.
it's been a good so far. It's at
Yes.
going to be at Gilded Goat Brewing, which is going to be March 4th, 4:30 to 6:30 p.m.
Wonderful, wonderful. And that information is also on your website, Northern Colorado Community. Yes?
Um, well, that is such a new event. It needs to be on my website, but it is on my Facebook page.
Okay, Great, great. And we can get that information from you so that we have it in the show notes and people can find you. And if they want to follow you a little while because they want to kick the tires or poke at this with a stick, you can do that while the rest of us are joining and relaunching and revamping our businesses and going for it. So do what you need to do, but I'm telling you, this woman is a powerhouse and a dynamo, and I'm so thankful, Anne, that I've met you, and thank you for talking to me the other day. Thanks for being on the podcast with us. We really appreciate your time.
Well, thank you. And I'm very honored and grateful to you, Dawn. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Yes, and we will be in touch. Okay, everybody. So Anne Barron from Northern Colorado Community, please reach out to her. You'll be glad you did. This is To Your Greatness with Dawn Mathis. I am Dawn Mathis. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Thank you. Okay.